All right, folks, we are back, and we've got everything from the T-Mobile announcement. It was a big event that was held in New York City. I'm going to try to just give you guys the main points and the main elements that you need to know, and what T-Mobile executed here with T-Mobile's T-Priority. All right, for starters, do me a solid. Go ahead and like and share this video, subscribe if you're new here, and turn on the bell notifications icon to never miss an upload from the SMT. All right, so I watched most of it. I'm not going to continue to watch it. It's storytelling and stuff like that, and I'm going to get to that in a second. But what T-Mobile did with this announcement is they took the New York City Public Safety Department. The whole event was centered around New York City, right? The biggest market in the country, the most challenging market in the world, all those things, right? And they have an exclusive contract with them. 40,000 folks will be utilizing the T-Mobile network with T-Priority through this particular contract. And they use it as an example of what T-Priority can do. Best network in New York City, according to T-Mobile. That was Callie Field, who is the business CEO of the company. So the first thing she mentioned was the whole New York City Public Safety Department. Then she went on to talk about the second thing, which is having unique vendors for creating ecosystem of services and products, including gear, things like drones, ruggedized laptops, and devices. The third thing they talked about was T-Priority being included on the Go 5G for first responder rate plans. They called it, quote, ultimate priority on the ultimate network. And then the fourth thing she mentioned, $2 million donation to the Tunnel to Towers, which is a foundation or a scholarship fund that supports the families of fallen first responders. And it basically supports the children of those that have passed in the operations of first responder duty and active duty. So she went on to say things like, these are very large investments that we've made. This community deserves better options. That is a direct shot at AT&T and Verizon. I don't care how you slice it. I'll be back to talk about slices. You guys will catch that. Says that there have been times when first responder networks just didn't connect and weren't cutting it. Shots at AT&T's FirstNet. They, through the surveying and the questioning of the New York City, the folks, they said that there were three problems: congestion, coverage issues, and slow speeds. And then she specifically named Florida, Vegas, the New York City police departments, the FirstNet team, and Verizon Frontline. She referred to these things as old tools, outdated. T-Mobile's got modern 5G solutions. She specifically named AT&T's Band 14 as being 10 times slower because it's 4G LTE than their 5G network. And there's more. They went on to discuss the 5G standalone network. So being more secure, being encrypted, being more private. She spoke about the network slicing features, 5 times the capacity access on their network for first responders. Their network covers 98% of the United States. Now they have Starlink. That will be available at no additional cost to T-Priority rate plans, including 24/7 support teams for first responders. And then they followed that up with the inspiration behind New York City, and they brought in the New York City Chief Technical Officer, and he gave this long story about how they overlooked T-Mobile and they had been using other providers, and those providers were more expensive and not as good. And now that they're going to save tens of millions of dollars and giving more value to the people of New York City, and those types of things. And I'm going to get to more of this storytelling, because as the event went on, it was basically storytelling. And then John Deepfryer came up and was talking about how the network evolves in real time. Antennas start shifting by themselves. He spoke about gangsta speeds and then started cackling and all those things. And then he kind of finished it off by talking about T-Priority and how it's going to be included on all of the first responder plans. And it's called, T-Priority on the T First Responder on Us. And they're going to start a First Responder Essentials plan, which is $35. And if you want T-Priority on that, it's $7.50. Okay, so here's where I'm going with this. How much of this is actually new? How much of this is actually unique? How much of this separates T-Mobile from Verizon and AT&T? Maybe nothing. I have no idea. You know why I have no idea? Because Verizon and AT&T don't tell the story. T-Mobile knocks it out of the park. They know how to tell a story. They were touching people's emotions with their presentation. They were explaining the benefits, how people are going to be, to find success in serving others in the public and safety. They did it all with this presentation. And this is something that AT&T and Verizon do not know how to do. Nothing. You've never heard about tilting towers, cell phone and the cell tower antennas and radios. You've never heard about any of this. You know why? Because Verizon won't tell you. Because AT&T won't tell you. But T-Mobile will. Because they're smart. They know how to market themselves. They know how to explain to people what they think they need. And you would watch this T-Mobile presentation and you would think that T-Mobile just invented 7,000 things. And I promise you, they probably didn't invent anything. They probably haven't innovated anything. But they convince people that they have. And that is the only thing that matters. When you convince people, they believe you, they spend money with you. They have the New York City account, they got the Chicago account, they got all these accounts that are coming in. They're telling these stories, and people are eating it up. And that is all that matters, because now T-Mobile is going to infiltrate this particular segment of the business where they never existed before. And they're going to get considerations, and they're going to get looks. You know why? Because they disrupted business. Because they disrupted consumer. They disrupted prepaid. Why the hell can't they disrupt this? Now, there are some things that I question. You know, they talked about the Starlink piece being included. And they talked about, the network being high, having a lot of capacity in those things. And they talked about the priority access. And all those things are great. Preemption. It's all fantastic. Their network could have weak points. They spoke about coverage being important to people. There's an argument to be made that they don't have the coverage, but maybe through Starlink, it's something that they can actually offer now, right? And I'm not saying that it's better than terrestrial coverage. It is not. No way, no how. But it does not matter. And people are going to listen to the story and they're going to buy it. They're still pushing the savings. They're still pushing the value. They're still telling people all the things they want to hear. And now you're starting to see the fruits of T-Mobile's labor. The merger with Sprint has enabled this. A third first responder network access. No longer just Verizon Frontline, just FirstNet. Now T-Mobile is involved with T-Priority and T-Mobile first responder access. And it has all this stuff included in it, and T-Mobile's telling the story. You don't hear stories from anyone. Not from AT&T, not from Verizon. They're boring, they're drab, they don't talk about anything, they're distracted by whatever the hell else they're doing. T-Mobile nails it every single time. Nobody is even close. Nobody approaches what T-Mobile does with these events. And there are 10,000 technical questions we can ask about Team Priority, but it does not matter because T-Mobile nails the marketing. It does not matter. They got New York City. That account probably used to be Verizon. It probably used to have AT&T FirstNet. Now it's exclusive to T-Mobile. What does Verizon and AT&T have to say about this? Why don't they want to talk about this? The merger paid off. Now T-Mobile can do stuff like this. The regulators, the government officials who approved the deal between T-Mobile and Sprint, this is exactly what they wanted. A competitor for the other guys. And now we got it. I don't see any version of this as bad. I'm not saying T-Mobile's all of a sudden going to be trusted as a first responder network, but there's going to be a lot of positive momentum that's going to spin when people see New York City. They're good enough for T-Mobile, so why the hell aren't I? They spoke about Texas. They spoke about Florida. They talk about California. How are they not good enough, right? Pretty exciting, pretty big. They really nailed it with the presentation and the storytelling. What do you guys think about all this? Let me know. Drop me a comment. Like, share, subscribe. We'll see you guys on the next video.